Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at another one of these high-grade After Colony kits from the Gundam Wing side story G Unit. This of course is Geminass Unit 2, and for the most part this is a color swap of a kit we saw before, which is Geminass Unit 1. So if you want to know absolutely everything about this kit, you might as well check out that review. I'm just going to be taking more of a surface look at this one right here because it's everything that we saw before in a different color. Anyway, as usual, this video right here would not have been possible without those absolutely awesome people over at BUYEE. They sent this on to me, and if you do want one of your own, there will be a link down there in the description. Now here we go. So anyway, once we get this box opened and everything built, here is everything included within. So that of course is the Geminass Unit 2 itself and all the accessories we would have seen with Geminass Unit 1. So that is the G Unit shield, accelerate rifle, beam swords, as well as 2 alternate hands, one left and one right. Next up then we've got a sheet of color correcting stickers and a sheet of sticker style decals. Now let's check out the Geminass itself. So anyway, here is the high-grade Geminass out of the box, just snapped together with a little bit of extra effort. And I will mention at this point, this isn't what I wanted to review today. I was actually going to review what you guys asked for, which is this right here, the high-grade Kshatriya from Gundam Unicorn. So as for why I'm not reviewing this today, it's because I put a little bit more than the usual effort into the Kshatriya, because this is a kit I did build a few years ago, wasn't entirely happy with the out-of-box build, so I wanted to kind of tighten it up a little bit, not use the included stickers, and detail it up ever so slightly. So it took me a little longer than expected, a couple of routine screw-ups as usual, but that will be coming in a couple of days. But for now, back to the Geminass, and like I said, this is pretty much straight built, just with a little bit of panel lining. And as for the lining in question, that's just a little bit of black on the face, right on the muzzle and around some of the detail, and some brown on the yellow sections like in the chest. That is all. So yeah, for this build it was just a nipper and 2 pens, and that really does show just how beautiful this kit right here is. Once again, this right here is one of those fully P-Bandai from the ground up kits, and it does show. These are always very impressive. From the Gundam F90 to this, the Geminass, to the Woundwort, all of the P-Bandai exclusive, and I mean fully exclusive kits, have been crazy so far, and I cannot wait for this month's Gundam Mark V. That master grade looks insane. But yeah, once again, a 100% identical build to what we saw with the Geminass Unit 1 besides the color. The only real difference is, instead of having grey inside of its chest, we now have that shade of orange, but the grey parts are left over on the runner, and that is the only thing left over compared to what we would have seen with the previous kit. The blue on this kit is quite unique as well. I would have assumed it'd be a very Titan style color, as in the Titans from Zeta Gundam, but that isn't actually the case. This is a much lighter shade of blue or navy blue than you see with the particular Titans color schemes. Even though it does vary from kit to kit with those Titans kits, this is a whole lot different than I was expecting. So now jumping into that full 360-degree spin, I'm going to pop the original art up on the right-hand side as well. So this kit is definitely less stylized than the artwork was. That's very chunky, very old-school Gundam Wing, and absolutely nothing like the model kit we have here. This is more streamlined, has a much more slender and somewhat more pointier silhouette, and to be honest, I'm glad that it does. Not that the original design doesn't have its own charm with its kind of roundy, bubbly, thick look. This just looks so much more dynamic to me, but if you are a fan of the classic look, then the redesign may not be exactly what you're looking for. But if you're just taking it as a high-grade model kit, not thinking of the source material whatsoever, this is a ridiculously cool looking high-grade. The amount of surface detailing is off the charts, the geometry on all the surfaces is crazy, so many raised surfaces, lowered surfaces. Honestly, this is pure high-grade eye candy, and once again, just a color swap of the original Geminass 1. So as for the color correcting stickers that we get in here, here's a quick snapshot of the entire sheet of stickers, but as you can see, right here, I did not use them all. I only used the ones for on the eyes and the head cameras. As for the other ones we've gotten here, number 1 and number 2, those are for on those circular sections up there on the shoulders. They should be in gray. The reflective gold ones there that are number 3, those are for inside the shoulders, you can see up there. And then those huge ones right there, number 5, those are for making those thrusters around on the back of the legs color accurate. But I think they look pretty good already in that gray, so that would be completely up to yourself. Plain plastic, stickers, or paint it up. Next up in here, we've got a sheet of sticker-style decals. There's quite a few of them in here. I'm not the biggest fan of sticker-style decals because they're quite hard to disguise the edges on, but we'll use one just to make an example of it. So anyway, there's an example of the shield with a sticker on it, and from a distance, they don't look that bad. They can catch the light a little bit, but when you do get in close, you'll see that you can really see the outline of the sticker. It does stand out a lot. Of course, if you're quite deft with a blade, you can cut exactly around that and stick it on, and it will look pretty cool. However, I know I would absolutely make a balls of it if I tried, so I won't. So as for a quick size comparison, there it is side by side with the real grade wing EW. When it comes to height, wing kits are a little on the short side compared to standard kits, but as you can see, the Geminass is more standard sized, like the granddaddy right here, than somewhat miniature sized, like wing EW. Next up, there's Geminass 2 beside Barbie Lupus, a 30-minute missions, Unicorn Gundam, and New Gundam HWS. So anyway, jumping back to the overview of everything that comes in the box, now it is time to move on to the accessories. Here's everything that comes in the box, now let's check it all out. So as for hands, we've got the standard block set of holding hand cum fists. These of course can be used to hold onto the pair of beam sabers, or should I say, beam swords. According to the blurb right here, these beam swords are melee combat weapons that create blade-shaped plasma beams by converging magnetic fields. They're also used after the mobile suit was remodeled into the Gundam Geminass. What's that? Damn! It's some kind of Zagok or something! That is cool. Apparently there is some model kit of this knocking around. It looks a little old school, doesn't look like it quite captures the awesomeness of this kit, but, or should I say of this mobile suit, but this is ridiculous! Bandai, make that! As usual, when these are not in use, just pop off the handles, pop out the beams, and then we can just store them sideways. And what I mean by sideways is that the peg is on the side, and the hole is then on the side of the beam saber. So that then pops on, kind of hovering just like so. As for the alternate hands we have in here, we've got a beam rifle holding right hand, or should I say accelerate rifle holding right hand, and a somewhat widespread dynamic left hand. The accelerate rifle just pops into the hand, as simple as that, and this is one nice looking beam rifle right here. So it's made out of 3 gray segments, that's 2 halves in the barrel, and then those 2 blue segments on either side. The detailing on this is off the charts, and honestly, this is a beautiful beam rifle. So beautiful, I had to say it twice. So as for attaching the shield, it attaches on in the normal way, that is a peg into a slot. On the back of the arm, it can clash ever so slightly, or should I say ever so a lotly, with the upper armor up here, so it does get in the way sometimes of moving it, raising it, stuff like that, exactly the same as with the Geminass Unit 1. The last accessory we have in here then is this little piece, because the Geminass Unit 2 and the Geminass Unit 1 before it does not have an action base hole, just a flat old crotch in here. So you just pop that on there, extend the crotch a little bit, and now it's got a hole. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this, because now whenever you put it on an action base, it has to have that big thick crotch. Whereas if the hole was just, well, where it usually is, it wouldn't have to have that big old, well, giant robo-tank down there, but I guess it's not the worst. It does the job well. So anyway, as for the articulation on this kit, it is 100% the same as what we would have seen in the Geminass. Now, I went back there just to take a look at my review of the Geminass Unit 1, and I honestly do feel I was being a little overcritical with the articulation on this. Sure, it is not the craziest articulation around. The build is solid for the most part. You might get the leg dropping off every now and then, but there is a lot of cool aspects to this. I do feel though it isn't as bad as I was making it out to be. And I think the reason I think that now compared to back then is I have built a lot of more old school high grades and kind of, I guess, recalibrated my high grade eye. So yeah, the articulation on this is quite good. It's by no means a high grade Destiny, but it's still really, really good. And considering the awesome build as well, yeah, honestly, I think I was being too harsh. In general, it is quite basic and, you know, you'll get some good poses out of it, no crazy poses out of it, but the coolest aspect is this in here. We've got this cool hinge style waist. So this right here is kind of like a hinge that can move forward to make up for the general lack of an ab crunch. Now, you don't get this full motion out of it. Once the torso is attached on there, that does get ever so blocked, but that is still cool. That is a nice way of making up for the fact that this is a tiny little torso with next to no front and back ab crunch. Also, the butt flap here does not get in the way, and we've got a cool swingy dingy side to side premium butt flap to boot. But yeah, even still, it's still got some major restrictions and a lot of parts that you just saw pop off quite a bit when you're just trying to do basic poses. That pops a lot. I find the hip can pop a lot. Again, just like I said in the original review, this is great, but Bandai could have left the concept in the oven a little longer till it was, well, a little more perfected. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and I did rank the standard Geminass Unit 1 silver tier. Without looking at that review, I would have been inclined to go ahead and give this gold. Mainly that's because I was going to kind of skip out on the articulation part, but I'm glad I kind of went through it myself because the articulation is really what lets this kit down. Visually, it looks fantastic. The detailing on this is outstanding. The equipment in here is very, very nice as well. It's all got that built from the ground up premium Bandai kind of feel, but once again, it is the articulation that does let it down ever so slightly. Once again, you'll get some awesome poses out of it, you just won't get some over-the-top crazy poses out of it. So I guess the way I'll put it is, if you really are all about the articulation on a kit, then it is silver tier. If you don't give a rat's ass about articulation and just care all about the looks, then it would be gold. That's pretty much what I'm going to say about it. Either way, if you do want one of your own, once again, I got mine through BUYEE, you can get yours through there too. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back again for more Gunpla reviews. The next one will be the high-grade Kshatriya. If there's anything you want to know about it, drop in the comments now. And of course, I'll see you next time. As always, I cannot end this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video, for dropping a like, subscribing, and of course to each and every one of you that supports me over on the channel memberships or over on Patreon, like Craig Jerry, Tyler Sanders, the ambassador for Asymmetric Cats, Caleb Engelhart, Sean T, and Brian Perez.